All right, Tuesday Night Krug Show. Raj is in the house. We've got breaking news on Brandon Aiyuk. Let's go. Off and running on a Tuesday night. Happy December 23rd. There's only one more shopping day left. Get out there and shop your butt off. Welcome to the Krug Show. Brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. The best barbecue in all of Northern California is Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Tell them that Krug sent you. Late breaking story. If you go to RSF 49ers on any platform, and the czar of RSF 49ers is sitting right across from me right now, he has tweeted this out. Brandon Aiyuk issued an apology for his speeding video on his YouTube channel. If we make this even bigger, Brandon Aiyuk said, "Sorry, y'all." Gosh. Oh, right there, you're already just kind of
bro.
Anytime I hear y'all, sorry, y'all. My car content won't come with speeding anymore. Was praying with my son tonight and wouldn't want anybody else to miss out on an opportunity to do the same with their loved ones. My apologies. All right. You know what? It doesn't. You know what? Good on Brandon. Because it wasn't cute. It wasn't funny. What it is you're a menace to society. You know, when you're driving 100 miles an hour in a 25 zone, you could kill somebody's grandmother. You could kill somebody's son or daughter. And for what? Because you're just kind of getting kicks on and feeling a little wild, you know, in your car. That's, you know, it's like, come on, bro. He's a better dude than that. When I saw that, I was like, wow, what's going on here? This is like a cry for help. This guy's a better dude than that. I know we're frustrated with him. I know there's Niner fans that are frustrated by the way this thing has gone. I get all that. But I was having a hard time in the last couple of days just trying to separate. It's like, dude, I've interviewed this guy. I've talked to this guy. I know people who know him in the scouting community. I know people who know him, you know, from Rockland, from ASU. You know, that was a reckless thing to do, to drive over 100 miles an hour on a 25 zone. And then there was talk that the police were, you know, investigating it. And so, you know what? This is a good move on his part. Will it change things? I don't know. I really don't know the law and how that works and what's going to come of this. But you know what? Good. This is good. This is good news for Brandon. It's good news for the Niners. It's good news for the NFL. It's good news for the Bay Area, right? That's just good news. Raj, you just posted this on all your platforms, and I'm sure because of your vast power in all the different social media platforms, the greater universe is finding out about it as we speak. Because I know they're all following you. But give me your perspective on this. This just broke literally seconds ago.
Right before we were about to go live, I was like, yo, hold up, Larry, let me cook this up. I'm glad he issued an apology, because it was reckless. Like you said, it was very dangerous. I mean, the speeding like that's just wild, man. I mean, I said the other day, like, he might be going through some stuff mentally, and if he is, you know, hopefully he gets some help. But I feel like the people around him they don't have his back. So whoever told him, I'm sure this was a PR move. Somebody told him, hey, man, you gotta issue an apology.
Maybe Corey, maybe Corey, the Niner PR guy, said, hey, man, look, I'll give you some advice pro bono. You know, I'm a public relations official. It would go a great distance if you would just issue an apology and let people know that you were in the wrong here, and just, you know, I think it'll be the right thing for you. I mean, whoever gave him the advice, good for them.
Yeah, good for them. And not only that, Larry, it's, you know, if he thinks he's going to get traded or whether he thinks he's going to get traded or go to another team or whatever, he needs a little bit of positive,
Help us help you.
momentum. He needs a little momentum. So this is good because his image right now is not good, Larry. It's just not
No.
been good. So I think this is a good move for Brandon Aiyuk to do this. Now it was not a good move for whatever he's doing. He's young, but at the same time, you just need to put yourself around people that are good for you. I just don't see that he has good people around him. But I'm glad he issued this statement. I'm also thinking, Larry, that he's been getting investigated. I read some reports somewhere that the cops were looking into this. So I'm sure that also came to him. He's like, oh, I better, cops are looking at me. I just need to nip this under the butt. You know what I mean?
Well, there's two things going, right? There's the there's the there's the law, right? Obviously you fractured a law. I mean, I don't know how that works. I mean, there's all kinds of idiots rolling around, rolling gas stations and rolling liquor stores and posting it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine if you post proof, visual proof of you committing a crime, that they probably can arrest you for that crime, right? I mean, if I all of a sudden I videotape myself doing something against the law, and post that, I mean, can't they come to my house and arrest me even if they didn't see it? Even I mean, I just posted it. I'm giving you the proof that you need. I don't know what the law is, and I'm not a lawyer, and criminal justice was not my forte at Sacramento State, but I will say this: it's just like um, good for him that he's kind of owning this. I mean, it's just like, it's idiocy to do it, but it's worse to post it. And nobody was with you, and nobody thought that was cute or funny. And you crossed a line with a lot of people. It's like a lot of people don't really care about the Niners or your contract or whether you got screwed or the Niners got screwed or your injury or this or that or your trade talks. Nobody cares, for the most part. But man, you want to go from the nobody cares arena to everybody cares arena, start doing reckless things that endanger the greater public. And people are going to absolutely rise up with all kinds of hatred, and there's probably going to be some negative repercussions. And you're going to cost yourself a lot, whether it be in the form of court fines or if it's going to be in the form of contract money that you're not going to get because you're viewed as a reckless risk. So it's just more than anything. I mean, he's obviously gotten some bad advice to this point. Maybe now he's getting some good advice. And I'm sure the 49ers would much rather trade him, I'm sure, than release him. And I've read a couple articles in the last day, Raj, that basically indicate that it might be in his financial best interest to be traded and not necessarily released. So it's like, help me help you. You want me to trade you and not release you? Well, you can't make yourself such a pariah that nobody wants to touch you. So let's work together on this, and maybe we can save you a few more bucks, and maybe we can get ourselves some kind of draft pick compensation, and we can make the most of what's already been a bad situation. So anyway, that's just kind of how I see it. I don't really care because I don't really have a relationship or friendship with Brandon. It's not like I really have that much. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I care about people I don't really care about. But just in the general sense, I care about the Bay Area community. I care about, I care about the 49ers, and I care about Brandon on a level that I want to see the 49ers be able to trade him and not have to release him. So I don't know. There's a lot of Niner fans that as soon as the Niners are like made the indication that they were going to move on from Aiyuk, that Brandon might as well have been dead to them. I mean, there are some people that are like that with their team. It's like, I'm all about you. Oh, you're not on my team anymore. Oh, you don't even exist. And that's a lot of the comments around Aiyuk that I've seen in the last 72 hours. It's like, he doesn't exist to me anymore. He's no, what I mean? And that's a little over the top, but I do understand that mindset as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I think people are just they're done with them. Like I think Bonta Hill's tweet, like, how could he not want to be part of this team? He didn't want to play with Purdy. I mean, I don't think he ever said that, but you get the sense that maybe he just didn't want to be with this team anymore. look how special this team is. So I get a lot of people, I've seen that online. I mean, they're saying, hey, man, this team yesterday, they moved 2 games away from the number 1 seed, and Brandon Aiyuk had nothing. He didn't want to be. It's like he didn't want to get it. So I think because in their mindset, he gave up on the team, Larry. So the fans are going to give up on him. F him. And honestly, I just don't think you can get a lot out of a trade for him. So trade him, cut him, Larry. You're getting a 7th round pick, 6th round pick. Is that really going to be? I don't know. In the Niners, they do draft well.
I mean,
late.
whatever. I mean, it's not, to me, it's more just, do whatever's most palatable for you as an organization. But I did read that it would be better for Brandon if he was traded as opposed to, as far as financially, than as opposed to being released. But who knows? And it doesn't, you're right. The price tag in a trade is going to be so minimal. It probably doesn't really matter at the end of the day. All right. That's not, Aiyuk, believe it or not, is not the reason that we were going to go live. We normally go live on Tuesday nights anyway, and we were going to start off talking about Brock Purdy because I just kind of think that Brock Purdy is ready to win a Super Bowl.
He's kind of, I think so.
And it's like, if you look at it, okay, there's the evolution of a football player's career, right? It's like you come out of college, and you could be at, any age. You could be 20, 21, 22, 23, whatever. And you come into the league, and then there's like, you adjust to the league, rookies, it's hard to play quarterback in the NFL, and rookies don't know what they're doing. And, everything's happening really fast. And then you get to year 2 and you lift weights and the offense and now you're quite a bit better if you're healthy. Brock Purdy had a major injury coming off of his rookie year. But for most guys, hey, year 2 is an upgrade on year 1. Then you get to year 3, and you're kind of there. It's like now you're in what I would call the super prime. And that's like 24, 25, 26, 27. That's what I call the super prime. So you're really still a young man. Your body's not broken, but you're not a rookie. And you're not a second-year guy. You've got, the offense. Heck, you now know the offense so well that you probably could teach it to other quarterbacks. So here it is. Brock Purdy coming off of what was one of the greatest games I've ever seen him play. He's 25. And I just started thinking about this. Who's going to get this done this year? Who's going to win it all? And I started looking at doing some research on, quarterbacks in our lifetime and when they won. Joe Montana, 1981, was 25. He was 25. He was the same age as Brock Purdy. Tom Brady, when he won his first Super Bowl, he was 24.
24.
Okay? Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger, when he won his first Super Bowl, was 23.
Oh, shit.
Patrick Mahomes, when he won his first Super Bowl against the Niners, he was 24. Okay, you see the trend here? Russell Wilson, when he won his first and only Super Bowl with Seattle, was 25.
Larry.
How old's Brock Purdy? He's 25.
He's going to be 26 this week. He's going to be 26 this week.
Well, I mean, and then you look at some of these other guys. I mean, Jalen Hurts won last year. How old was he last year? 26.
26, okay.
Troy Aikman, when he won his first Super Bowl with Dallas, 26. Eli Manning won 2. When he won his first one, he was 26. So here's my point. My point is, if you look at the crop of quarterbacks in this year's playoff picture, Caleb Williams is 24, but he's very young. He's very young. He completed 58% of his passes this year. He's got good numbers, but 58% is low. He's young. Bryce Young, 24. He seems like a little young, a little too young. Matthew Stafford, love him. He's having a great year. He's 37, probably too old. Aaron Rodgers, playing well right now. He's 42, probably too old. And then you get these other guys who are in that mix as well. That, Josh Allen's 29, but he's got injuries right now. He's got a foot injury that's kind of nagging. Jordan Love is 27, but you know what? He's got injuries. He's dealing with a concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. Justin Herbert's 27, but he's dealing with injuries. He's got a couple different injuries, including a badly damaged non-throwing hand. So there you have it. You've got Brock Purdy. I mean, who's right there in the super prime, Brock Purdy, 25 years of age. Guess who else is in the super prime? Drake May.
Drake May. But I
He's
don't think
young.
they're ready yet. I think
He's not quite ready. You're right.
He's got to take his lump. He's got to take his lump.
I don't think he's quite ready yet. He's 23. Bo Nix is in his prime, but he's 24, maybe a little bit too soon.
Yeah, I don't know about Bo Nix.
And then you got three guys that are in what I would call the super prime, but I don't know if they're very trustworthy. And that would be like Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. He's 26. CJ Stroud in Houston. He's 27. Sam Darnold in Seattle. He's 28. So, you know what? You look at this thing and you just go, wait a second. Do you believe what I believe, which is that Brock Purdy is going to win a Super Bowl in his career with the Niners? I believe that. If you believe that, this might be the year. Once again, he's 25. Montana was 25. You know, Brady was 24. Mahomes was 24. Hurts was 26. This is typically, there's been guys. I mean, Brad Johnson was 34, and Peyton Manning won his first one at 30, won his second one. You know, he was late. He was old. You know, we've seen some examples of older guys who have done it. It's not like it's a rule. It's not a steadfast rule. But when you think of so many of the great quarterbacks of our lifetime who won Super Bowls, many of them did it right now. It seems like Brock's young, but really he's in that super prime, and I think he's ready to roll. I think he's ready to. Right now, he's playing amazing football.
Yeah, he's playing fantastic.
That was amazing last night.
Not only that, but you know, this team, like I said last week, there's no real juggernaut in the NFC, and it's wide open. I feel like this team is primed, Larry, primed to make a run. If they get that home field advantage, nobody's taking them out. And I feel like this team right now, they're getting on a roll. You got Brock Purdy, 5-touchdown masterclass. I mean, it was the best game he's ever had, really, in a very long time. He's playoff proven. He's won in the playoff. You can tell he's just like, if he makes mistakes, he's the type of guy that's going to bounce back. Like, he's proven himself time and time again in the playoffs. And ever since he came back from injury, I mean, the team is averaging 34.4 points per game. They're number one in the league. He's the highest third down conversion rate. You know what else?
Red zone, great in the red zone.
Good. Not only that, they are missing people like Ricky Pearsall. He's finding weapons. Juwan Jennings stepping it up. He's got the highest QBR. Everything. You could sit here and read all the stats. He's coming back. There is another one.
Did you see this one from Jeff Deeney? You put it out there, I think. Not only was Brock Purdy's PFF grade 96.6 last night, his career high, it was the highest grade of any quarterback in a game this season in the NFL, graded out by PFF.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And Matt Mayoka posted this. In 12 quarters since the first half of his 3-interception game against Panthers, Purdy 61 of 85, 71.8% for 707 yards, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, passer rating of 124. I mean, it's just he's first in EPA. It's crazy. He's playing fantastic. Now I know you could say, "Oh, they're not playing any," but last week Seattle had a very hard time playing the Colts, and the Niners they walked all over the Colts defense. Right? Everybody was saying, "Oh, DeForest Buckner's back. The Colts are coming back." Now I know they had injuries, but this late into the season to play like that, you start getting in a momentum. And Brock is dealing, man. And I think this team right now, it just feels like, I've said it so many times, it's destiny. The AFC is wide open. You don't have Patrick Mahomes. It's, there's a lot of unproven guys in the AFC. Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohen's done a great job, but can they win the playoff? Bo Nix, can he win the playoffs? You got a great defense, but you have to score points in the playoffs. The only guy I trust out in the AFC is probably Josh Allen, but the team around him is, I don't know. And I like Justin Herbert, but he gets hurt all the time, so I don't really trust him. NFC, I've said it many, many times. There's no real proven team. Everybody's scared of the Rams. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, they know each other. It's going to be a battle. The whole Niner team could be depleted, and you're on your third string. Kyle Shanahan will bring his best effort to play. And Brock Purdy, man, that guy has been lights out. People got to stop questioning this guy. because everybody said like a couple years back when he went crazy, had the MVP caliber season. Well, he needs the Avengers, Larry. He needs Kittle. He needs Debo. He needs Aiyuk. He needs this guy.
I think what they meant was they need him.
They need him. Listen, you got Juwan Jennings, Demarcus Robinson, and Kendrick Bourne. Granted, you have Kittle, but he did get hurt, and CMC. But your wide receivers nowhere near. They're nowhere near what everybody was saying they were. He had Sky Moore, making him look like a great player out there. The Chiefs couldn't do that. Brock Purdy, man, some of those throws he made last night, I just unfreaking believable, man. I love him. Playing great.
There weren't even that many throws that were contested. I mean, it was just like he dropped back to pass and found open dudes. It was crazy, man. It's crazy watching him. And then you mentioned Jonathan Taylor. The Niners held Jonathan Taylor to 2.9 a carry. Seattle's vaunted defense didn't do that the week before. He had like 85 yards and was like nearly 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So, the 49ers right now look good. They look really, really good. Really good.
And
Purdy looks amazing.
Well, one more thing to add to Brock Purdy, and he said it himself when he was interviewed after the game. He says Kyle was in his bag. Kyle, you got to give Kyle Shanahan some credit on this too. Brock has looked great. He's executing the plays. But Kyle Shanahan, man, this is the finest coaching job I've ever watched Kyle Shanahan do so far in the regular season. He's just unbelievably getting everything he can out of this team. We've said all the people that are missing and this and that. I mean, this is Kyle Shanahan's offensive scheme. People were open. Like I was like, oh my God, every play was just chunk yard. It was crazy. So you got to give Kyle his props, just like we give Salah his props for making the adjustments. But man, Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy are absolutely dialed in. And when your coach and your quarterback are synced in together like that, Larry, it's hard to stop a duo, right? It's like you look at the Chiefs. Why have they been successful? Andy Reid and Mahomes, they're always like locked in. They're 10 steps ahead of everybody. If Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan could be 10 steps ahead of everybody, you're not stopping.
Well, they're both in their super prime. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, and I really believe in that as well. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is the best coach in the NFL that doesn't have a ring. Everybody knows it. It's not even debatable. Everybody knows it. He knows it. All right, let's get to topic number 3, which is today the Pro Bowl rosters were announced. There is no Pro Bowl, nor should there be, but the Niners got 6 players on the Pro Bowl roster. Trent Williams for the 12th time. Hughes Check for the 10th in a row. George Kittle, 7th. CMC, his 4th. John Weeks and Luke Gifford also made it. And Sky Moore is an alternate. The Niners got snubbed a little bit. Eddie Pinheiro, how does Eddie not make it? But whatever. Wow. How does Saron Neal not make it? He's been terrific. Both those guys are not going, but the rest of the guys are going to Orlando for the Pro Bowl games February 3rd. So good on the Niners. They had the most Pro Bowlers of any team in the league. That's saying something, man. I mean, think about all the good players that walked away in the offseason that got paid. And yet the Niners still have as many Pro Bowlers as any other team in the league. That's pretty impressive. In a year where they, went with a youth movement, they have the same number of Pro Bowlers as the team that has the most in the Pro Bowl. I mean, it kind of goes to show that this is a very, people aren't talking about this Niner team because they considered them dead when Fred Warner and Bosa went out, but they're not dead. And what they are is they're a team that has 6 Pro Bowlers that could have easily had 8.
Should have had
and
more.
It's a lot more. It's a much more talented team than we're giving credit for. Than we're giving them credit for, because a lot of their improvement in the offseason was on special teams, and they have they've got 2 guys made it. Another guy made it as an alternate, and 2 other guys could have made it. You could have had 5 players from your special teams unit in the Pro Bowl.
It's amazing. Can you imagine? Say, if I would have told you that last year that you're going to have 5 potential Pro Bowl guys from your special teams, you would have laughed at me. Brian Schneider and that special teams unit was absolutely terrible, Larry, but they've turned it around, and that was one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons they're winning games. Last night, special teams was a huge reason why they won. Sky Moore's been balling. Jair Brown came and made a big play. So many people. Saran Neal has made big plays every week. I think he should have got that spot, kind of like Odom used to get, George Odom. I don't know. Gifford, I would have taken Neal, but hey, it is what it is. Because Larry, let me tell you something about the Pro Bowl. We're not going to be playing in the Pro Bowl. We're going to be worried about a different bowl game come February. I'm telling you now, I'm not worried about the Pro Bowl. It's great for them. It's great for Trent Williams and his, Hall of Fame resume. That's amazing. 12 freaking Pro Bowls. That's crazy to me. This man, it's the record for offensive tackles in NFL history. He's tied the record. It's pretty crazy. 15 years, 12 Pro Bowls, high level. He's still playing at a high level. Did you see the video Brandon Thorne put out of his film from the game? This guy's 37 years old and he's playing like he's the best freaking tackle in the league for 15 straight years. He's unbelievable. He deserved it. Kyle Juszczyk, man, I love him. 10 straight Pro Bowls. I can't name another fullback though, so I love him. He's smart. He picked the right position, but he is a good player. George Kittle, love him. He deserved it. I hope he's okay. They said a low ankle sprain, but the guy has been absolutely rock solid since he came back from injury, and he's proven why he is pretty much the best tight end in the game. Everybody else, yeah, good to see them get Pro Bowl, but Larry, I'm not worried about Pro Bowl because we're going to be playing in the Super Bowl.
I hear that. All right, you mentioned Kittle. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported this afternoon it's not a high ankle sprain. It's a mid to low ankle sprain. Kittle says that it happened in a hip drop tackle, which is illegal early in the game. We saw the clip of it. I think it's pretty clear that that's indeed the case. What do you think? I mean, do you expect him to be ready for the Bears? They're going to have to go with Farrell and Tonjes. What's your best read on that?
Yeah, no, I'm glad he avoided a serious issue and a high ankle sprain because those could be weeks. That could be a 6-week thing. Low ankle sprain, you could play. This is a playoff caliber game, so maybe Kittle will tape it. It's going to really be determined by practice. Kittle's tough. He wants to play, but he doesn't want to ruin his chances to make a deep run. So I feel like he's going to test it out in practice this week. I'd say 60-40 to play this week, just knowing Kittle. Maybe a little higher. We need him, but you don't want to ruin the rest of the season if he takes a bigger injury. But Jake Tonjes, put some respect on Jake Tonjes. This guy has stepped up admirably for George Kittle. They should have gave him a touchdown, should have challenged it, but that guy's been lights out, Larry, this season. This is the first season where we've really had a tight end too, that if Kittle does miss time, I feel good with Jake Tonjes. The guy is actually really skilled at his job. So I'm happy. But we need George Kittle because he's been fantastic. And, low ankle sprain is a lot better than a high ankle sprain. Again, you could probably tape it. It doesn't take as long to recover from it, but you still got to see how the pain is. But this is playoff game, Larry. George Kittle.
Look at this play by Tonjes, by the way. And Shanahan, come on, Shanahan. If there's one thing I would say to Shanahan is, you're awesome, bro. You're awesome. But whoever is advising you on when to challenge and when to not challenge is less than awesome. And you challenged a play yesterday that was so ridiculous. There was no chance you should challenge it. I looked at it within a second and I'm like, oh, they're going to lose this challenge. And they lost it. And then there's this play. And this has got to be challenged, dude. This is maybe the highlight of Jake Tonjes' career. Look at this play.
Look at this. I did consider it. But I didn't get to make that decision. And quickly, when I saw he scored, I was glad that I didn't. But then they told me that he scored. So I'm sure Jake's upset with me, but it ended up all right anyways.
I'm upset. Everybody's upset.
You challenge it.
I did consider it.
And it's like,
I was a little reluctant off the information I got earlier.
Yeah, so basically, let's decipher that. My guy up in the booth's a donkey, and because I can't trust my donkey, I'm all effed up. I mean, that's basically what he just said there. That's basically what he said. Somebody upstairs told me the wrong info the first time, so I was hesitant to lean on them the second time. What? Get rid of the guy in the booth who's doing that. You don't need to tell me his name. You don't need to tell anybody his name. Just trade him out. Yeah. My God. But it's the one that they challenged was awful. Okay. It was ridiculous. And for them, this is worse to not challenge this, though, because this was a beautiful play. This was the play of the game.
It was amazing. And okay, even if you think that it's not, you owe it to Jake Tonjes to review it because the effort he made. Like if he gets ruled not a touchdown, okay, but you owe it to him because that man flat out, like he went all out for that catch. The amount of effort he put into that, he deserves a touchdown for that play because a lot of times people, let's say he has a contract in a year or two, people are going to look at stats. They're not going to remember, oh, he almost had a touchdown. That's one less touchdown on his stats because some people just look at that stuff.
Not only that, it was maybe the play of the game for Purdy too.
The play of the game for us. That could have been one of the best plays of the entire season, Larry. That was a clutch catch. Jake Tonjes, that's why I said if Jake Tonjes has to step up and play this week and Kittle doesn't play, I'm okay with it because that man, you saw it.
I believe in Jake Tonjes.
Insane catch. In Tonjes, we trust. I trusted him since week 1 when he made that fantastic catch in the game. Come on, man. That guy's him.
Yeah, Jake Tonjes. Come on, Kyle. Come on, Kyle. I don't know who's upstairs, but come on, man. Whoever's upstairs, take away their Christmas bonus.
Take it away.
Seriously, this is the Bigs, man. Let's get this right. But yeah, that was the negative, the one negative in a great win. All right, let's talk a little bit about some winners and losers from this game. Who stands out to you in either direction? There was obviously more winners than losers. What do you think? My friend Kyle Posey did a great article in Niners Nation, 12 winners and 5 losers. I'll tell you who he's got. But go ahead, Raj. Who you got a big winner or a big loser from the Monday Nighter?
There's so many you can choose from. Big winner was Juwan Jennings, man. That guy, 7 touchdowns in 7 games. Early in the season, we were sitting here saying, what are you doing? Grow up. He's crashing out against Kyle Shanahan, throwing tantrums on the sideline, talking about, oh, my ribs, I played with like 20 broken. Remember that? And he's calling people out, and I'm just like, oh, Jennings, what are you doing? You asked for all this money in the offseason, and now you're not living up to it. He came back. He got healthy. Whatever he did, he cleared his mind. This man has been in an absolute tear. This guy is a huge winner. Brandon Aiyuk, he's looked silly the last couple of weeks. He gone. Juwan Jennings is going to make a lot of money this offseason. Whether it's with the Niners or not, I don't know. But Juwan Jennings, to me, is a huge winner every week. Clutch catches, touchdowns. He's a dog, and he does all the intangible stuff. He's the villain. He's the Grinch. This man pump faked the fan. Got the touchdown.
I know. That was so awesome.
After the game, he said, she wasn't wearing a Niner gear. That's what you get. I love this guy.
That was the best.
He, to me, is my biggest winner of the game. And love Jennings.
Anybody that the opponent, any player on your team that the opponents can't stand has to be one of your favorite players, right? If you have a guy on your team that the teams that you play can't stand, that should be a guy that you love. How about this for last night for Jennings? Every catch he made either resulted in a first down or a touchdown.
Wow.
How about that?
The stat,
dude is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jennings is so money. I agree with you. Pay him. Pay this guy. Figure it out. Don't go monster 20 million plus, but how about 2 years and 33 million or something? I don't know, with some bonuses. Something. Give him his 15, 16 million, whatever.
Give him his bread.
Yeah, this guy, come on, man. This guy's got to get his cake. Okay, so that's one guy. He's one of the winners. I'm going to say one of the big losers. Now, granted, it's tough anytime you're winning on the road and your quarterback's playing great. But Luke Farrell. I mean, Luke Farrell almost got Brock Purdy's elbow ripped out again. You're a blocking tight end. You can't severely miss blocks on the line of scrimmage to get your quarterback keyholed when you're a blocking fucking tight end. You block. You can't run. You can't catch. You block. And if you can't block, it's time to move. It's time to get out of here. So I talked to him earlier this year. Decent guy. He lucked out on this play because the ball popped up right to him. Could have been a disaster. What if Purdy had his elbow ripped out again? I mean, come on, Luke Farrell. You're a blocking tight end. Remember that. Remember, you are a blocking tight end. Block.
I know. He's bad. That was bad. That's one. Okay.
I'll give you another loser on
Go ahead.
I don't like the way Diamador Lenore is playing this year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he just like, first of all, Luter got picked on quite a bit, but Lenore just seems like his ball skills are not quite what they were. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like he was a better player a year ago, and that he should continue to be ascending. He should continue to get better. He's not at that age yet where he should have crested the hill. I don't know. Maybe it's his weight distribution's not quite right, but he's not. I don't know. I mean, I was to me, it just seems like his urgency is a little off sometimes. He's given more room than he needs to. He's taking chances he doesn't need to. He's missing tackles he shouldn't miss. I don't know, man. There's some weird vibe about Lenore this year that just doesn't quite feel like he's on his game.
Yeah,
you sense that?
I agree with that. Like, I don't see him making impact plays. He's supposed to be an impact player captain. I mean, I don't think he's like playing horribly because he's on an island. They're not throwing to him, but when they do throw it to him, he's let up a few plays that I'm like, okay, you should have had it. And to me, the biggest issue with Lenore, I'm okay if he gives up a few yards here and there, whatever, if he's playing low. It's the penalties, man. He's really drawing a lot of penalties. And that to me is
kind of grabby.
He's been grabby. And I feel like he hasn't been like that lockdown corner that I thought he was going to be. I feel a lot of it is, the pass rush. I think he also played better when Fred was out there. Like, he just knew where Fred was going to be and he knew where he was going to be. I think that's a big part of it. So maybe some of these newer players that are in the lineup kind of maybe throws his timing off, because I have noticed his timing has been off. But the penalties, he's got to clear that up. I wouldn't say he's horrible, but yeah, you expect him to be Pro Bowl caliber, and he hasn't played at that caliber. So I like that one. That's a good one.
Big winner. I got to throw one more big win. I mean, I don't want to just be the losers. I want to throw a winner.
Yeah.
One big winner is, I think, Jair Brown. That forced fumble on the kickoff. I mean, look, we can't talk enough about the importance of turnovers, and thus anybody who causes turnovers has to be celebrated at a really high level. The Niners this is going to be the key for them the rest of the way. How many times can they take it away? And I love that play. Jair came running over. The tackle was secured. Now, he could have helped with the tackle, but he said, "No, what? Screw that." He came with intent. He literally was staring at the ball, and he was aiming his punch, and he got good elevation and punched down on it. And it's the kind of heads up play. It's the kind of play that's going to win the Niners a Super Bowl, man. They are going to win the Super Bowl this year if their defense continues to make plays like that. And so I want to celebrate that, and I want to celebrate him and Mustafa, because I think those two guys are maybe the key guys.
They've been stepping up. You got to give a lot of credit to Jair Brown, man. This guy, we've said 8 weeks ago, this guy got demoted. He lost his job. People wrote about. People were like, "Get this bum off my team." People were just not a fan of Jair Brown. He's turned it around, and he's become a relentless player. Salah says it all the time, play with intent, and that's exactly what he means. Go, run, and chase after the ball. That's Fred Warner ball. Fred Warner always has the peanut punch, right? And you could Jair Brown was looking at that ball. He wanted one thing, and knocked that out of his hands, and he got it. He has played absolutely fantastic, Larry. A couple weeks ago, he was the Defensive Player of the Week. Unbelievable. This guy has turned his career around. When he got drafted by the Niners, I thought he was going to be this big playmaker. He wasn't. And then he got hurt. And I think that humbled him a little bit. This season, he's been a playmaker. I love Jair Brown. That's a good one. I'm going to keep it with a winner. I got a couple of them. The rookies, man, they're really starting to hit their stride. It's been an up and down season for them. But there's a guy yesterday that was all over the field. There's a couple of guys that I could mention, but one guy in particular, I want to stick to the secondary, because I know we talked about how Lenore, he's struggling. But there's a guy, man, Upton Stout. Oh my God. Awesome. He was literally all over the field. Wherever the ball was, he was there. C ball, B ball. This man was every single place. He's a dog. Like, he's going to have some ups and downs. He's going to, give you some bad plays here and there. But man, when he's on and he makes plays, it is fantastic. He's got a heart of like a lion. This guy is tough. He's gonna be a good football player. He's already
got this raw athleticism and violence to his game. He's a small guy, but he's violent.
He plays huge, man. He plays 10 times bigger than him. And you could just see like the skills he has. He's gonna be a good player, Larry. I really like Up to Stout. And then
I love him. Yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna give you
great.
one more good one.
Yeah.
It's a duo. The two rookie defensive linemen, the interior line, Larry, they got a bright future. They're starting to hit their stride. Alfred Collins and CJ West both get their first sack of their career. Both have looked really good over the last couple of weeks. They got pressures. CJ West, 4 pressures and a sack. He's starting to become the QB hunter that we all imagined when the season started when we drafted him. Alfred Collins has been a fantastic rookie, but he's getting better. Strip sack was huge. And DJ West, man. So CJ West, those two guys, they're going to be so much fun together in the middle. So those two are other winners from this game for me.
I love CJ West, the strength that he showed on his sack. I mean, he was getting combo blocked. He split it, and they stayed with him, and he carried them to the quarterback's face mask. He carried 2 offensive linemen to the quarterback's dome. Yeah. I mean, it was an awesome play, man. It was an awesome play. And Collins is coming on. What they really got in those 2 guys are 2 really good people. So, like, they're really good ethics. They really want to be good. They work hard. Like, it means a lot to CJ West. It means a lot to Alfred Collins. I'm going to give you one that I don't like saying, but I have to say it because I'm just honest. One of my favorite guys on this team is Tatum Bethune. But my biggest concern right now with the Niners is not the O-line. I even said it to you 3 weeks ago. We talked about big concerns. I said the Niners linebackers' inability to cover is I think going to be their undoing. If they wind up losing, it's going to be because of that. Bethune was only in man coverage a little bit. He gave up 5 receptions for 54 yards and a pair of first downs. Then he walked off the field with an injury. They brought in Kendricks, and Kendricks had to guard Tyler Warren. Kendricks gave up a 19-yarder to Tyler Warren. He allowed another 8-yard reception to Warren. And I realize Kendricks has not been playing, but Gifford can't cover. You know, Bethune's not good in coverage. Kendricks is not good in coverage. The numbers from last year were horrid. That's my major concern. If I were the Niners, I would literally still be looking at other teams' practice squads for one more linebacker because they don't have enough coverage linebackers. Their linebackers can't cover. Now, you can have one guy, but here's the thing. You got to go find a coverage linebacker. Why? Because if you do what I think you can do, which is have Brock Purdy score 35 points, you're going to have teams passing against you in the second half, and you're going to need to take the Tatum Bethunes and the Eric Kendrickses off the field and replace them with somebody who can cover because they're going to be throwing the ball exclusively if you get what you want. So go pretend that you believe that you're going to have big leads and go find a coverage linebacker on somebody's practice squad. I like Chandler Martin and Eugene Asante. They're young players, but they got to find somebody. They got to find somebody because, and other teams are doing it right now. Other teams are picking off practice squad players from other teams. It's happened today all around the league. Yeah. I love Bethune, but man, the Niner linebackers can't cover, and it's a problem, man. Now, you don't have to have a full-time guy who can cover, but at least if you had a guy on your bench that you could, go to if you got a 14-point lead and put him in there as a coverage linebacker. Or maybe it's Jason Pinnock. Maybe it's Jair. Maybe it's a safety. I don't know. They got to think outside the box because their linebackers cannot cover well enough. And it has to be a question for Robert Saleh. Next time I get to talk to Saleh, I've got to ask him about what do you do? Because you can't help these guys cover. They're doing the best they can. They just don't run well. They don't cover well. That's a concern. That is a concern. That to me was a big negative.
That definitely was. And you could tell Philip Rivers was, shout out to Phil. He came in surgical on those first few drives, and he saw it. He saw the liability, and he was just going over the middle every time. If Philip Rivers, he's amazing. Teams are going to see that. They're going to study the film, and they're going to be like, all we got to do is pass it against Tatum Bethune, who's very slow, doesn't have the coverage, and then he hurt his ankle on top of it. So it's like he's battling through an ankle injury. He's going to be playing with the bulky ankle throughout the rest of the couple of months. The couple of weeks in the playoffs. and he's slow. And I think that hampered him a little bit. I think, he wasn't 100%. He played through it. You could tell he just wasn't getting to the ball. I said definitely a liability because when we play teams, they're going to know. The Rams are going to know it. They're going to sit there and say, all right, we're just going to throw over the middle. We put Puka in the slot, go over the middle, Puka in the slot, over the middle, Kyron Williams. They'll eat us up. So definitely was a liability. But I'm going to switch back to something positive. You know what? Demarcus Robinson got his first touchdown as a number
he
3,
looks good.
He looked good yesterday. That was good. We had questions about who's going to step up with Ricky Pearsall out, and Demarcus Robinson played pretty good yesterday. He's made some catches here and there, but yesterday was a good game. And his touchdown. That's good, man. The Niners just plugging and playing, people. And you also got to say, just in general, the 49ers offense in general was a win because Thomas Morstead back-to-back weeks. He ain't punting. This man was bored on the sidelines. He's talking to Pat McAfee. He's stretching. He's playing with the ball. This man had nothing to do, Larry.
Nothing.
He was bored, bro.
Seriously.
Was bored.
I'll give you another winner, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. And here he is. I'm going to share the screen on this little
That's
thing.
a good one, yeah.
There's a post game deal. Look at this here.
Good game, man.
Honor to be able to play out here with you, man.
You're on fire,
So
man. You're
cool.
fun to watch.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Roll.
Appreciate it.
You forget how fun Wednesday and Thursday are. Just being on the practice field. Good. I actually feel good.
Do you?
Yeah, I actually do. I feel good. 53.
He's looking for winters.
Winners, yeah.
For a second, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I'm sure he hated that.
Yeah.
Hey, you knew it from the earlier chat?
Yeah, I did.
Golly.
I heard you checking. You hit
I
him
know.
over there.
I hit him on that side.
Yeah.
Good play.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good play.
Yeah.
No,
Now that's cool.
Be able to play out here with you, man.
You're on fire.
That's
man. You're
that.
fun to watch.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Keep it rolling.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
You forget how fun Wednesday and Thursday are. Just being on the practice field.
It was
everybody
this
good?
was cool. Watching Rivers do his thing. And I when I first heard it, I thought, man, this is stupid. This is guys after the limelight. He's chasing his glory. He just loves to play, man. He loves to play, and he still can play. So
he played good, man. I mean, I know a lot of people
played well.
I know a lot of people say, "Oh, he doesn't have the arm strength." He's 44. He's still slinging it. But the thing about it, he's so smart, bro. Like it just shows.
He's audibling tons.
Yeah, it was crazy. The thing what I notice is quarterbacks nowadays, the young quarterbacks compared to like back then, we had some amazing quarterbacks going to war every week. And we took it for granted because now it's like, man, we see bad quarterback play. This guy came in. He hadn't played in weeks, Larry, or years, sorry. And he's
5 years.
5 years. He went into the Seattle game with 2 days of practice. He played pretty good against them. And then this week he had a week to prep. And he looked unbelievable this week. I mean, this guy has been on the couch. He's, older. It's not like he's sitting there exercising. I mean, I'm sure he keeps himself,
He's coaching high school, but I mean, come on, man.
Well, he's a coach on that. So you could tell he was on the sideline having fun, coaching the players up. This guy played pretty damn good for not having played in 5 years. And I'll tell you this. I think I think he could play next year. If I'm just throwing this out in the atmosphere. If the 49ers trade away Mac Jones.
Oh, no.
You could get Phillip Rivers on your back.
I'll say this, dude. I'll say this.
He'll take you in the backup, just sitting, collecting his insurance and coaching, helping Kyle coach.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It 3 weeks ago I would have said that's crazy talk, but you know what? After watching that, is you going to find somebody better?
I'm telling you, man.
Nobody's going to be better. I mean, if you had Mac Jones, it'd be better, but Mac Jones is going to cost you a lot of money, and you're probably going to trade Mac Jones in the offseason. Yeah, I'd be open to that. I absolutely would be open to that. I mean, it would be great for Curtis Rourke. Could you imagine?
Yeah, man.
If you had Curtis Rourke. Hey, Curtis Rourke. By the way, we're gonna have a guy in the room who can basically like tutor you in practice. I mean, it'd be great. And Brock Purdy.
My favorite part of that whole thing. My favorite part of the whole thing, Larry. He looks at his family. He had a whole luxury box rented out. His family's so big. He probably called the call. Yo, my family's coming. I need a whole press suite, like a press.
Did you see what he said to Lynch? I mean, Lynch is like, he's like, yeah, my young girls my young girls have never seen me play. He's like, of course, my oldest girl, she has kids now, and she's like, whoa, you have kids that are too young to see you play, and you have grandkids at the same time. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh,
all right, couple more here. Bears. It's Bears week. Give me one thing you fear about the Bears. Give me one one thing that gives you confidence that the Niners can beat the Bears?
Okay. One thing I'm worried about is they have an opportunistic defense. They don't have like the best defense in the world, but they make big plays in crunch time. They're very good at getting turnovers. I think they're the best defensively turnover team, right? Turnover worthy team, something like that. They score a lot of points off those turnovers. So I feel like that's going to be a problem. Is can we keep the ball out of the defense's hands? Can we limit turnovers? That's what they do. They feast on turnovers and they make you pay, man. That's really what it's going to be. Ever since they added Chauncey Gardner, I mean, we talked about it last week. He's very
tough. He might have gotten hurt in this game. He looked like he wrenched his knee.
He'll play.
In Thursday nighter, so he may not be going in this game. I haven't checked his injury status, but it almost looked like he blew his knee out. I don't know what the deal was.
I hope not. I hope he didn't. We'll get injury updates tomorrow. They go back to practice, but regardless, that defense is very opportunistic, and I'm worried about that because we got to limit turnovers. This is not a game where this is a playoff game. You have to make sure you don't turn the ball over. So that to me is something I'm worried about. And what was the other one, Larry? He said,
just why do you give me one thing you're worried about, one reason that you feel good?
Oh yeah. One thing I feel good about is, okay, I've said it before. I said this about Bryce Young. Now I'm going to say it about Caleb Williams. Is the spotlight going to be too big for him? This is, as the games get closer to the playoffs, these games have more meaning. And I mean, no disrespect to Caleb. He's had a great season. I mean, that touchdown game winner against the Packers was fantastic. He's had some big moments. But is the spotlight going to be too much for him? Sunday Night Football, you got a chance to win your division, maybe the 1 seed, right? And the Niners are here. They're playing fantastic in Levi Stadium. Niners are going to be wearing their 94 throwback. There's just so much pressure on Caleb. Can he handle the pressure and be that guy? Can he deliver against the 49ers defense? I feel confident that he'll kind of wither up, and I think the stage is going to be too bright for Caleb. And I think that's what's going to cost him is he might throw like a pick at the end of the game or something, and the Niners will win.
Okay, I'm just gonna be straight out. I'm a statistical guy at this point. Now, I don't like looking at stats early in the year or even middle of the year because I feel like the sample size is too small. But when we get to this portion of the year, Raj, I think this is when I do actually look at the stats. And I'm going to share the screen on the Niners Bears statistical profile put out by the Niners. Here it is. Okay. Now, Bears are on the right, Niners are on the left. Both teams are 11-4. The number of their profile that makes me nervous, there's two of them. Rush offense. The Bears are number 2 in the NFL at rush offense. They're averaging 152 rushing yards per game. They've got this young back from Rutgers who I loved in the draft, Kyle Monangi, and he's got the heart of a lion. He's a really good runner. He's having a great year. And they use him as a changeup to Swift. And the Bears have a really good interior offensive line, and they got 2 really good backs. And I'm concerned about their ability to just run the ball down the Niners' throat. But we saw good things last week from the Niners' run D, so I don't feel that bad. But that's one area I don't feel good about. The other area, as you mentioned it, the turnovers. 21 interceptions the Bears have. Oh, by the way, what did the Niners have? 6.
Yep.
That's the Niners have 6, and the Bears have 21.
Wow.
That's a lot of picks.
Big difference, yeah.
And Brock Purdy, when he's not going good, throws picks. So that's my concern right there. Can the Niners stop Monangi and that interior Bears offensive line with their run D? And can Brock Purdy take care of the football against a team that leads the NFL in picks with a ton? Okay, those are my concerns. The reason I feel great about this game is the look at the statistical profile when it gets to rush defense. The Bears are giving up 131 yards per game rush defense. It's 27th in the NFL. They cannot stop the run. Emmanuel Wilson in the game last week against Green Bay ran for 5.9 a carry. The Packers ran 44 times. Now, granted, they had their backup quarterback in there. They were trying to make it more of a referendum. but 44 rushes for 192 yards against the Bears. And if you look at the Bears game logs and box scores, Raj, they're giving up 5.5 yards a carry, I would say at least 5 or 6 times in the last 8 weeks. I mean, you can run the ball down their throat, and I think the 49ers are going to. I think it's going to be a big CMC, a big Brian Robinson, a big punch in the mouth, run the ball at the Bears, dominate the time of possession. They cannot stop the run, and the Niners are going to run it. Niners are going to run it. So there you go.
I like it. Yeah, it's good.
That's what I'm looking at. That's my positive. That's my negative. All right, let's finish up. We got a couple more here, and then we're out. Did you see maybe the best story of the week? Kendrick Bourne got his $500,000 bonus, and today he said, "You know what? I'm going to share that around the room with the other wide receivers." Now, dude, I'm telling you, this is a really tough room, right? Why? You got guys like Watkins and Cowing who are 4th-round picks who can't get on the field. You got Pearsall, who's a 1st-round pick, who's feeling tons of pressure from guys like me who are noticing that he can't stay healthy and can't score touchdowns. And then you have Demarcus Robinson, who scored 7 touchdowns last year, who's not getting the ball. And then you have Bourne, who's had a couple 140-yard days, and suddenly he's not getting the ball. And, you just have a lot of guys in the room, and there's a lot of discontent. JJ's obviously, a cantankerous kind of guy, and he's in a contract drive, and he's trying to earn his incentives. So I kind of think that Bourne, with this gesture, is really going to win over a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of thing that brings the room closer together. And Kendrick Bourne is a special personality. Yes, he knows that JJ's the guy, and he knows that JJ's got a contract deal, and he knew that JJ was going to be featured. Did he make a stink about it and going, "Hey man, I've had back-to-back 150-yard days. Throw me the goddamn ball"? No, he's just fitting in, continuing to smile, fit in, get along. He's built a nice little rapport with the other wide receivers, and to me, the fact that this guy's going to take some of his $500,000 bonus and spread it around the room, dude, I just think that's exactly what that room needs right now. Is they need somebody with a great veterans leadership spirit to do something nice for the rest of the room, to kind of unite the whole room. And I think that's the move. I love that. When I read that, I was like, I love that. I love that. I love the gesture because there's some guys in the room that could use a few bucks. But I also love that in JJ's, contract, I'm going for the money contract drive, you got Bourne saying, "Hey, I'm spreading it around here." And to me, I think that is the perfect gesture for the wide receiver room to share that money. There's been stress. There's been Aiyuk. There's been, come on. This is a stressful room. The Niners have a lot of really good rooms, but this room's a little stressed out. And for Bourne to say, "Hey man, I just got an extra $500,000 and I'm going to spread it around to my guys," I think that's a genius move by him. I really do. I love it. If I was Shanahan, I'd find out how much he shared with the room, and I would make sure that I funneled him that much more. And just because you know what? That is a great unifying move in a room where, there's a lot of me guys. There's a lot of, it's a me position. You got to think about yourself when you're on the perimeter, whether you're playing offense or defense. And when you think about yourself all the time, that's never necessarily a good thing. Yeah. So I just love the fact that Bourne did this, dude. And I know what kind of person Bourne is. And I just think that this is the kind of gesture that helps, that unites the room and helps them win a Super Bowl. I love this move. It's
a locker room move. And, Kendrick Bourne, that's why you brought him in here. Like, you got to shout out to KB because there's been times where they needed a receiver, like early in the season. And it was like, who the hell is going to play wide receiver? Ricky was hurt. Jennings was hurt. Aiyuk wasn't there. They literally had nobody, Larry. And it was like, all right, they brought in Sky Moore, KB, and they were desperate. And he came in. Mac Jones played and him. They had a great connection. And you can't, if this team wins a Super Bowl, you got to give a lot of credit to guys like Mac Jones, guys like Kendrick Bourne. They came in, patched the team up when they needed them. and then he went back to his role as a third string, fourth, wide receiver 3-4, whatever. Doesn't complain. He blocks. There's some film out there of this weekend where he's just blocking. He's able, no block, no rock. Like, he does it all. He's always smiling. Like, that's it, man. He just brings good, positive energy to the team. That's what you need sometimes. It's a long season. These guys are going through so much. They're banged up. You have a guy that's always smiling. It makes you smile. And you know what? He's made his money. He's made big contract, when he left and went to New England. So for him, he's like, whatever, man. Because he learned this from Emmanuel Sanders. When he was with the Niners, Emmanuel Sanders was here. Kendrick Bourne was a young receiver. Him and Debo, they got Versace robes from Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel used to give him all types of stuff. I remember that weekend he rented out Corvettes for like KB and all these players. He did so much things for the players. So I feel for the wide receivers specifically, bonded the room. I think KB's learned from that. And he's such a good veteran. Like, he's positive energy. After the game, he's making TikToks. Did you see the video? I used that as my
with Kittle.
Victory Tuesday. Kittle doing the little swim dance. I mean, come on, man. You can't. I bet you Kittle was like, I can't. And KB's like, you got to do the TikTok for me, George. And he did it. And it was the greatest thing. So, like, that's why KB's good. His energy is infectious. I'm glad he got that $500K. He's got one more incentive. If he can get 600 yards, he'll make $750K. So he'll get 250 more. So
look at Mac Jones's suit, by the way.
No, that suit was classic, dude.
Dude, look at that, dude.
I love Mac Jones. I'm glad we got him on the team, man.
Seriously. I mean, I had no idea that I would enjoy Mac Jones as much as I have.
Well, me too, man.
He's been a great addition. I mean, seriously, a great addition. Probably maybe the best. All right, couple last ones, and then we're out. We're already an hour in, so we'll hurry this up. Fill in the blank on this one. Watch out for blank on the Niners in the playoffs.
Watch out for D Winters, man. I think he's going to ride that momentum of the pick six. I feel like he's just going to hit his stride. I think that's a type of play that gives you so much confidence. I think he's going to be locked in. I think that play right there was what he needed, because he was kind of up and down after beginning of the season. Beginning of the season, everybody's like, oh, here comes D Winters. Winters is coming. He kind of was up and down. But I feel like that play right there, Larry, is the play that he's going to remember, and it's just going to ride him. I think he's going to be really solid moving forward. D Winters.
D Winters is a good one for sure. I'm going to go with DeMarcus Robinson. I love DeMarcus Robinson. Scored 7 touchdowns last year. And when I talked to him in the locker room last week, I'm like, man, they don't use you on these rub routes the way you can be utilized. And he's like, I know, man. I know. But I love DeMarcus Robinson's potential here. I just think that he's, they're going to double Kittle. They're going to double CMC. They're going to double Jennings at times. You're going to have to find somebody else in the red zone. This is your guy. By the way, here's what you were referring to. This little.
Yeah. Kittle, man.
Very good. I mean, it's stuff like that brings the room together, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
It's stuff like that brings the room together.
That's the stuff, man. That's good.
DeMarcus Robinson. Yeah, I think he's going to elevate in the playoffs. All right. Trent Williams said in the postgame he plans to play in 2026
he says,
and beyond. He says I'm going to be around. So the Niners currently have the 26th pick in the first round. Right now, give me either your top priority for the Niners position-wise in the upcoming NFL draft, or give me a college player that you've seen this year that you would love to have on the 49ers. Who do you got?
Man, I still think they should go O-line, and prioritize that, because I know Trent, the big interview with Scott Van Pelt. Oh, I'm nowhere near done. I had everybody hyped because the crowd was going, one more year. And he's throwing up the heart. That was great, but you still need to get an offensive tackle to replace him as the heir apparent. But if not, Larry, if you don't go at the tackle at that spot, you probably won't be able to get him at this position. But I think they need a wide receiver. As much as I hate to say it, go get Malachi Lemon. I don't think you're going to be able to get him at that point at 26. You'd have to trade up. But man, could you imagine if you can get a wide receiver like that, USC stud receiver? Oh my God, that's the type of receiver the Niners need.
I'll tell you, the guy that I really like in this draft for the Niners, especially now that I've watched what they have on their D-line. Like, I think the Rams rebuilt their D-line post Aaron Donald, and it took them a couple of years, right? And in one year they got, Verse and Fisk, and the other year they got Kobe Turner and Agent Zero, and 2 drafts later they got a D. Well, I love the Niner interior combo of CJ West and Alfred Collins, but they could really use a pass rushing tackle.
Yeah.
Penn State has a kid named Zane Durant who wears number 28. He's 6 feet, 6'1", about 290. But he's an awesome pass rusher. Very fast, very explosive. Has 4 sacks this year, and then he's got an interception. He's a really athletic interior rusher. The perfect complement to play inside next to run stuffer Collins, run stuffer West is that pass rushing tackle. And he's probably going to be there on day 2 of the draft, probably 2nd or 3rd round. Zane Durant. Love Zane Durant from Penn State. One of my favorite players in the draft. How amazing are the 49ers to be 11-4? They are 11-4 with the second most dead cap in the entire league. The Niners have $103.7 million in dead cap, and they're 11-4. That, Raj, it's unimpressive that you have $103.7 million in dead cap, but that's what happens when you say goodbye to the Debos of the world. But also to be 11-4, and the other teams that are right there at the top with dead cap are like Jets, Raiders. Teams that aren't sniffing good football. And here's the Niners at 11-4, may wind up with the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs with the most dead cap of any team in the conference.
That's incredible. Larry. That's an incredible stat. You know what it is?
It really is.
They've drafted well, and this is the thing. I know they have all these injuries. We let go, and that's a credit to this front office. Yes, they let go of a lot of people, right? Debo's gone. We know Dre Greenlaw, Uvunga. We can sit here and name them all. But the Niners have good depth. You know what? Like, you may not have a superstar, but they're really good players. If other teams would have the injuries that the Niners have, I don't think they have the depth to overcome it. Like, that's the thing. The Niners can plug people in. They step up. They go get players that I know could be integrated into their system. Because how many times have we had to get players from the practice squad and we're like, oh, and then he steps up and he plays good, patchwork type of defense. Other teams, they go get practice squad guys and you'd never hear about them or they don't make an impact. The Niners, if you're on their practice squad, Larry, you're probably going to have some type of role on this team and you better play good. So it's a credit to this team, man, coaching staff, front office. It's incredible. It's just unbelievable. And the rookies stepping up. Last year's rookie class, this year's rookie class, making plays. I love it.
All right, 2 last ones. Who gets your 49er Rookie of the Year award?
Ooh.
I'm giving mine to Upton Stout.
Okay, that's good.
Stout is playing incredible. He's played the 6th most snaps of any 49er defender. And he's top 3 in total tackles on the Niners defense with 72. And he's 5'8". This guy has been the starting nickel all year. Nickel is a really, really tough position. I think this guy is physically what you want. He's a little short, but everything else, he's physically what you want. He's violent, and he is smart as hell. You're talking about one of the smartest football players they have, one of the most physical football players they have, one of the most violent football players they have, and a guy who's playing maybe the most complicated position on the field defensively. Outside of quarterback, your nickel corner might be the toughest position on the field. And Stout has played there all year, and this team's got 11 wins. He is my Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's probably the best answer. He's a fantastic player. But I'm going to go I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go Alfred Collins. He's played really high-level football. He's made some big plays. The Rams game, he was pretty much the reason the Niners won that game. So many high-level plays in that one. I feel like he's starting to get, his bearings under him. Listen, Larry, this guy is going to be a star defensive tackle. Like, you could see he's finally coming along. He's figuring it out. And it's crazy because if you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, I was like, I don't know about Alfred Collins. He missed training camp. He missed mini camp.
Yeah.
Or not training camp. He missed mini camp. He was so far behind. He was trying to play catch up. You could tell when he first started on the Niners and was getting reps, it was like, oh, he looks like he's so behind the 8 ball. I was like, he's lost out there. He's not getting enough playing time because he's so behind. But once he kind of got back in it and integrated and he was getting the reps and he started slowing down, he's looked very, very good. I'm very excited for Alfred Collins. He's going to be a junkyard dog in the middle along with CJ West. But to me, My rookie of the year is Alfred Collins, man. He's had some big moments for the 49ers.
AC, man, he's a big time guy. Great guy too. Great guy. I mean, seriously, I had a conversation with him the other day about, we were talking about A&M and Texas, and he's just a great guy. It's hard to. He's just a really, really good dude. All right. The Krug Show is brought to you football season all season long, and the Krug Show is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and, of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. Thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Also, thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, on the Monterey Peninsula. Anthony Catania is at 831-521-5264, and he's a great follow on Instagram. Sharp Corners 831 on the gram. And once again, if you order a Christmas present and you have it shipped, he's paying your shipping through the end of the year, just if you know me. So there you go. If you're a Krug Show watcher or listener or supporter, Anthony will take care of you at Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. All right, and let's hit our big finish. The big finish is brought to you by Habbas Law. 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. HabbasLaw.com on the web. HABBAS Law.com. If you need a great attorney, call Omar and Tarek and the Habbas Law team. They are fantastic. If you've been injured and you want to win, there's only one call to make. HabbasLaw.com, 1-800-INJURED. Habbas Law, they will fight to make it right. All right, let's go to the big finish. And this is what I'm going to go with in the final thing here. Raj, to me, the biggest key for the 49ers, not just against the Bears, not just against Seattle, really the rest of the way. Turnovers. Turnovers. I looked into the numbers. When the Niners lost the Super Bowl against Kansas City in Miami, they turned it over twice that night.
Mm-hmm.
When they lost the Super Bowl in Vegas to Kansas City, they turned it over twice in that game.
Don't remind me.
When they lost to the Rams down at SoFi in the NFC Championship game, they had a turnover in that game. When they lost to Philly in the NFC title game in Philly when Brock got his elbow ripped out, the Niners had 3 turnovers in that game. Okay. Turnovers have been their undoing. Now they're hot. They're playing great. But this year, these numbers reveal tons. 49ers have won 5 games in a row. In those 5 games, the Niners are +4 in turnover margin in the 5 games.
Wow.
The Niners are 11-4 on the year, Raj. In the Niners' 4 losses this season, they are -8 in turnover margin. If they don't turn it over in mass, they got a great shot to get that 6 Lombardi. The numbers are all right there. They've won 5 in a row. They're +4 in the turnover margin in those 5 games. In their 4 losses, they're -8. -8.
Yeah, that's not good.
Don't turn it over, and you got a great chance to bring that 6 Lombardi to Santa Clara.
Can't wait for the parade, Larry. It's going to be
incredible. Be incredible.
Yeah.
All right, Raj, let's hit our supers, and then we'll bolt. We got a couple in the house. People are throwing their – we got a few more than a couple. Last I looked, we had a couple. Now we have 10. All right, here we go. We're going to roll through them quick. Bill Kennedy, if we lose out, how would you grade this season? If we lose out, if the Niners lost the last 2 games, I would say they would do in the regular season exactly what I said they were going to do. 11-6, right? They're 11-4. They lose the last 2 games, they'd finish 11-6. If they lose in the first round of the playoffs, I would say it'd be a disappointing year. To me, the standard for success is the NFC Championship game. You got to get to the NFC Championship game. You got to be in that Final Four. If you get to the Final Four and you get beat by a better team, all right, but you got to get to that Final Four. You got too many great players, too much talent, too many expectations. To me, success is you make the playoffs, and they have. You finish with at least 11-6 record, and they will no matter what. and win a game or two in the playoffs. And if they did, they would probably wind up in the NFC Championship game. That's success to me. How would you grade the season? How would you look at the season if they lost to Chicago, Seattle, and then got bounced in the first round?
If they do that, I don't know if you saw. Well, you probably did. You saw what Trent Williams said last night. You heard what he said. He played to win Super Bowls, Larry, and he said it himself. He goes, "You don't use the word bust, but he would say that the season is a failure. And if you don't win a Super Bowl, and I get it, we have this player hurt, blah blah blah. At this point, you've weathered the storm. You're 11-4. You know how to win. You've won 5 in a row. You're one of the best teams in the NFC. Whether people want to believe that or not, it's failure. It's not good. If you lose and you can't even make it to NFC Championship, then you know what? It's a bad season. Not because of the injuries and stuff. You had a chance. If you tell me that you don't try to fight to at least to get to the NFC Championship with the chance to play in Levi Stadium, season's a failure.
It's harsh, but I mean, I think it's fair. JT Brokes is correction, Larry. Pro Bowl this year is Super Bowl week at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what when you said Orlando, I didn't say anything.
Well, I got that off of it was on Twitter. It said they're going to Orlando.
I'm pretty sure it's an asset because if you remember, Jerry Rice and Steve Young are going to be the coaches.
They're not flying to Orlando, probably, huh?
They're probably, they're going to stay here. Listen, this is why I'm telling you. I told you this a couple weeks ago. This is my theory. Okay, you got Niner legends, Steve Young and Jerry Rice. They're coaching the Pro Bowl games the week before the Pro Bowl. They got the Hall of Fame, induction or announcement. Roger Craig and Frank Gore are going to get inducted. Okay, that's 2 more Niners, so it's Niner weekend. They have the documentary, The Niners of the Rise. That's coming out.
AMC Plus. That's February 3rd and 4th, I think.
That, and then not only that, the awards, CMC is probably going to win Comeback Player of the Year. So all this Niner-centric stuff a week before a season, Larry.
You forgot one. Our man, Curtis Robinson, becomes the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
No, I don't think he's going to win it.
No, you don't think so? I love Curtis.
I don't think he's
MSQ says, I think the reason Demo hasn't been as good this season is because he's lost. He's a lot better in the slot compared to the outside. Yeah, it might be the case. He's a very good defender against the run. It's a good point. It's a big difference, too. It's not the same position. It's a totally different position. MSQ. But at the same time, Stout is him in the nickel. Yeah, I mean, Stout looks really good.
Yeah.
Frank Tom Ocean. LK and the legend, Raj. LK, I noticed you've been one of the first to ask questions lately at press conferences. Is that a respect thing amongst media? No. I just, here's my mode on that. If it's one of those pressers that starts with injuries, then I don't ask the first question because the writers are looking to gather their information for what they need to produce, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, guys, we're going to start with the injuries. Aiyuk and this and that and this and that guy's hurt and this guy's hurt. And if there's a big injury, then I shut up and I let Nick Wagner or one of these guys who is writing for a real publication ask their question about the injuries, and I try to stay out of the way. But if the presser starts and it's just like, hey, here are the injuries, and it's nothing major, nothing new, nothing really that anybody's going to follow up on, then a lot of times, I go, to those pressers with my questions. I know what I want to ask, and so I'm not going to wait around. I just fire away. But it's not about respect or anything. I've heard a couple people ask me, oh, you asked the first question like it's some kind of big deal. I never really thought of it that way. I just oftentimes have a question at the ready. And, sometimes I'm eager to get my question out. So, yeah, there's no pecking order. Or if there is a pecking order, nobody's told me.
Well, that's why they're like, oh, shit, Larry's got the bigger YouTube. We got to let him go. I mean, because there's a couple of you guys that have big YouTube, right? There's you, there's Grant, there's David. I mean, people want to get that number one question.
I never really thought of it that way. I really never have, but now that you've said it,
I like that. I never knew that because you're right, because you're not like an injury update guy. You're not going to go out there and tweet out the injuries. You never do. Like Matt Barrows, Matt Miyoko, Cam Inman, those guys, Nick Wagner, and Lombard.
I mean, I would tweet it out if like something happened that was like, out of nowhere, CJ West doesn't have a right knee anymore. So, something that was like shocking, I would be like, oh my God, CJ West doesn't have a right knee anymore. But if it's just like, Yatir Gross Matos hamstring is not, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Because we agree. We're like looking for those updates. And if I'm not like conference call, I could listen to, but like those ones, when you're in the presser, I can't. So I'm like relying on those guys like Nick Wagner, especially. He's pretty good. He's usually up first one to get it. But you're not out there tweeting like, okay, George Kittle would be limited. Like, I don't look for Larry's injury updates, but you got other good stuff. So.
No, but what I do, the one thing I do like that I tend to get is if I can come up with a good question for Shanahan, he knows that I'm not a gotcha guy. Like, I'm not trying to catch him in anything. And I think because of that, he sometimes will give me some really, really long answers that are really, well thought out. I mean, I'm very pleased with some of the answers that he's given me this year to some of the questions, and I respect him for that because, it's easy to give. When he's pissed at you, he'll give you a one-word answer.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Or if he's like, if he doesn't like your question or whatever, if he doesn't think, he'll just answer it quickly. Yeah. If he likes your question, he feels like you're asking it from, for a, I don't know, a non-gotcha reason. He'll give you a really good thought-provoking answer. Like, sometimes, hey, what was that play, Kyle? And when and he'll be like, it was this, this, and this. And, what I liked about it, he'll give me some great answers. And I do appreciate that. I really do.
He got respect for you. When Grant Cohn asked the question, it's a whole different situation.
Well, it's just, it's a little different. JC Mania dropped this one. He said, it's crazy to think we're 5 straight home wins away from a 6th Lombardi trophy. I know.
You know what happened, Larry? Can you think about it? Think about it this way.
That would be amazing.
It's amazing. If the 49ers do go and win 5 in a row, right? And they march their way and never play a road game the rest of the season. If they win 5 in a row, do you know they'd have won? That would mean they had won 10 games in a row to win a Super Bowl.
They would have finished on a 10-game run.
10-game fucking win streak. That right there is a Super Bowl. So if anybody says anything, you can just sit there and say, hey, you know what? The Niners won 10 in a row. They deserve that. That's crazy.
Seriously. I'm feeling really good about it right now. I didn't ask you this, and I wasn't prepared to get into this, but first of all, how old are you, Raj? You weren't 40. So you weren't around, really. You were around, but you weren't really around but you were around, but you don't remember Super Bowl 29.
I mean, no, the last Super Bowl we won. Oh, trust me, I remember. I was 10.
The Steve Young win. Do you remember the Steve Young win?
Absolutely. I walked around with the Steve Young jersey for.
How old were you?
I was 10. That was
okay. You do remember. Okay. Good. So that's cool. You remember that. There's a lot of people that don't remember that, and they really want to see the Niners win a Super Bowl because they've never seen it before. I wonder what the young Niner fan. I'd love to know. And people, if you're in the chat, if you're a young Niner fan that has not been alive for the Niners to win a Super Bowl, how would you react? What would you do if the Niners won the Super Bowl? If the Niners win the Super Bowl, Raj, what would you do?
Whew, man.
How would you celebrate that?
Oh, honestly, man, I'd obviously going to the parade. I mean, it'd be crazy. I'd probably go to a party wherever people want to, wherever my people that I know are at. I'll be there, celebrate. We go live. We'll be hyped up. I mean, it's gonna be amazing, Larry. If the Niners are there, I'm gonna be there with my best friend at the game. So we're gonna go to the after party most likely. My friend, he's the one that throws the parties for the Niners in Vegas. So we'll probably.
Is that the guy I met in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different guy. That's a different guy.
Okay.
You didn't meet him. You met Ken, but my other friend in Vegas, Moose, him and Prague are like best friends for life. So I would probably be there, hanging out with the players, seeing them, and then afterwards, just hyped out of my mind, posting everything I could post, and then obviously the parade would be.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine.
I didn't ever get to see a Niner parade because I saw the Super Bowl. I remember it, but I was 10 and I lived in Vegas. I never went to a Super Bowl parade. I went to a Warriors parade.
I think I would. I think I'd probably get emotional. I think I'd probably think of my parents, think of my dad. My dad really was the one who got me into Niner football as a kid. He took me to my first Niner game when I was 4 or 5. And I'd probably, it would probably be a real emotional thing for me personally. John Hawkins says Mac KB 1 and 3 for Myles Garrett. What do y'all think? No way, or maybe no way. Not worth it. The 49ers, or not worth it for the Browns. No, it's not worth it for the Browns. The Browns have made it perfectly clear they're going to go forward with Shador. They're going forward with Shador. I actually kind of think that Mac could wind up in Indy. For a couple picks and maybe Riley Leonard, or maybe a couple picks and Anthony Richardson. I could see it. I can see it.
I think we might trade him. I think the Saints maybe. I don't know. Although their rookie's playing pretty good lately.
He's
Tyler,
okay. Shuck.
Yeah, Shuck.
He's not bad.
I don't know. He's got there's a lot of quarterbacks.
Saints are NFC though. I think more of it. I think it's probably going to be AFC Raiders, but then he probably doesn't want to go to the Raiders.
He doesn't go to the Raiders. I don't want to see him go to Raiders, man.
Yeah. Titus Moeller, Larry, when you talk to Jordan Watkins, please let him know there are members of the faithful who believe in him and his ability to be a standout 49er. I will. Yeah. I'm going to share that with him. I'm going to go right up to him and be like, hey, bro, I believe in you. And there's a lot of the Niner faithful that really believe in you. Get out there and do it. I can't wait till he plays, because you guys are going to see it. We're all going to see it, and it's going to be out there for everybody to see. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Boxing fan says, how about some big body guards like Ione from Penn State or Pregnon from Oregon? Yeah, I like that. Here's another one. Go check out Keelan Rutledge from Georgia Tech. Pretty good player. PWS West Coast is LOL. So who are we playing in the NFC Championship? Because since 2002, we've either missed the playoffs or made it all the way to the NFC Championship. I would love to see a Niner-Bears NFC title game.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be great.
I think it's going to be Niners, probably one of the teams from the NFC West, either Seahawks or Rams. But Niners-Bears would be fun. Okay, I think I've asked you this before, but now, okay, we got a couple more weeks.
Yep.
Give it to me. We're going to say Niners make Super Bowl. If the Niners make Super Bowl, who are they playing on the AFC?
New England.
Wow, you got New England going to the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. I believe in New England. First of all, I think Vrabel's a really good coach. I like their offensive line. It's young, it's talented. I love their secondary. It's young, it's talented. Okay. Look at it this way. I believe in Drake May more than I believe in Bo Nix.
Wow.
I believe in Drake May more than I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I believe in Drake May more than I believe in Justin Herbert.
Okay.
I believe in Drake May more than I believe in CJ Stroud.
Okay.
And I just don't think the Bills have enough weapons or good enough defense to do it. So I'm going to take New England.
Wow.
I like New England. Plus, I like the late loss to Buffalo late in the year. That's like a good motivator.
Yeah.
We got this one from PWS West Coast. Any plans for Christmas Eve and Christmas, guys? Well, Raj, how about yourself? What do you got cooking?
Yeah, so Christmas, we're going to the Warriors game. We're going to go watch the Warriors versus Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flag.
What time's the tip? 3?
Like 2 or 3. Yeah,
okay. Midday.
So we'll do that, and then we get back. I got to watch Stranger Things, man. That's the Christmas day.
Okay. Christmas Eve. Are you a Christmas Eve guy?
Yeah, well, my daughter hangs with. She's more of like her mom's big Christmas Eve, so she'll be with her mom. But I'll be wrapping up the presents and doing all that stuff. I watch a bunch of movies, Christmas movies. I just chill, relax, do my thing.
Cool. That's cool, dude. So I've got the 4 kids, and my daughter will be flying in from Atlanta the day after Christmas. She's got to work. She's a nurse, so she's got to work. But so I'll have Kev and my other 3 boys here on Christmas Eve, and we're going to get together with my sister and my brother, and we're going to do a dinner and just hang out and enjoy Christmas Eve. That was the kind of tradition in the Kruger family, Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day we're gonna be at home. We're gonna be at home, and then the day after Christmas we're gonna have some relatives over. So. Yeah, just just a family thing, man. Just laying low and enjoying my kids, enjoying my wife, and enjoying a couple days without streams. That's really it. We got this one. This is the last one. The ACOP 707. Can you tell my friend Isaac that just because Purdy doesn't have Jamarcus Russell velocity on the ball doesn't mean he can't be elite. He's watching. I mean, was Jamarcus Russell elite?
No.
I mean, Jesus.
Terrible.
I mean, what the hall of the hall of fame of the purple drank or whatever he was, I mean, he's come on. It's not about that. Quarterback is about so much more than arm. It's hilarious actually too. We talk about arm strength, and we talk about 40 times, and we talk about hand size, and we don't actually talk about the things that matter, which is how did he elevate his college team? How did they do before he got there? How did they do when he was there? How did they do after he left? Does he throw a catchable football? Does he process what he sees? And the bottom line is, I've talked to Steve Young about this. The number one thing is accuracy. Why is Mac Jones so good? Because he's accurate. Why is Brock Purdy so good? Part of his equation is his accuracy. Why was Joe Montana Joe Montana? Because he was freaking accurate. Why is Tom Brady Tom Brady? Partially because of his accuracy. Accuracy is a huge element, huge component of being a great quarterback. And yeah, Jamarcus Russell. I mean, come on. Jamarcus Russell was terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. No movement ability, no dedication, no consistency, no accuracy, no pattern of success at LSU. Come on. I think the bowl game against Notre Dame spoke loudly about what he was going to be, and then he wound up being not very good. I'll tell you, sometimes it's, athleticism. I'm an A&M fan. I really love Marcel Reed as a college quarterback.
Okay.
I don't think he's a very good pro quarterback. And I really love him as a college kid. He's a great kid. He's 6'3". He's athletic as hell. He's not accurate. He doesn't process. He fell apart in the playoff against Miami. Just fell apart at home. Couldn't complete a pass. So, you know what? Athleticism is key. Anthony Richardson, 6'4", 240, and runs 4.4. Nobody's bigger, faster, more athletic than him, and he can't play. So, it's everybody knows what they want in a quarterback when they see it. They just don't know. They don't know what it is until they see it at the pro level. So Brock Purdy is taking it to that next level. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Habbas Law. Thanks to Sleeper. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle. Thanks to our good friends at Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. Thanks to Raj. Thanks to all of you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all you guys. I hope you have a great holiday with your families and your friends. Raj, we will do this next week, man. Hey, man, 2025 has been awesome. One of the things people are always like, hey, I really love your stream with Raj. What's the key to it? I'm like, the key to it is that Raj and I show up every Tuesday. Yeah. Every Tuesday. We don't show up every third Tuesday or every ninth Tuesday or when we feel like it. We show up every Tuesday. Raj is a grinder, and that's why he's got a big channel. I'm trying to copy it, and hopefully we're doing good things. So thanks to Raj. Thanks to Kev. Raj, I'll give you a final word, man, before we bolt for the door, and thanks for hanging out. Thanks to the 2,039 people that are watching right now. If you could all hit like and subscribe over here on Raj's channel, we would appreciate it. But Raj, as I said, I'll give you the final word before we bolt for the door.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure being on the show. Like you said, we're consistent every week, no matter what. I could have my hand chopped off, but I got to go live with Larry. I tell everybody, like, people are like, hey, I need you. My phone's buzzing all the time. I was like, look, I'm live with Larry every Tuesday. Don't bother me. And that's what it is. So I appreciate you for having me. It's been a great year. Thank you to all the Niner fans that support Larry, support me. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a happy holiday. And get ready, ladies and gentlemen. We got 2 more games, and the road to the Super Bowl goes through Santa Clara. Good night, everybody.
Peace. I want that ring. 6 Lombardi. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of.